Welcome to Gamer Gab. It's Ashton and Wayne.
On today's episode, we're going to be revisiting that old favorite, one of the first episodes that we ever filmed on this channel. We're going to be talking gaming pet peeves.
And boy, do we have several for you.
Gamer Gab.
Go.
Let me start us off because this is fresh on my mind.
Okay.
I started The Outer Worlds 2. And, you know, I hate to say this, it started me off kind of on a rough, I guess, beginning.
Sure.
But not too bad. However, it reminded me character customization.
Not only is it a problem, it's hard to say.
It's so hard to say. But you know, you're going through and you have your options. There weren't as
many options.
Yeah, there were options, and at the same time, there weren't. I guess where I was expecting them. For example, mouth. There was you couldn't change anything with your mouth. That's odd, seeing as there were, 65 different earrings you could choose from.
I was going to say, there's no limit to, the different colors of eyeshadow that you can apply.
Exactly. There was a lot of options, and then there wasn't. But not only that, my problem, the biggest problem I have is there's no names or details for the options. So, you know, it takes a lot longer when you're just going through something and there's no hint as to what you're getting into.
Yeah, if there are 80 hairstyles and you're flipping through them, you have to think, okay, I like number 23.
Yeah.
I need to remember that to go back to it if I don't find something better, instead of just being able to scan back through them and be like,
short,
that mohawk.
medium, long. I don't really care how you organize it as long as there's something.
For sure, and overly complicated character customization is definitely one for me as well, and having just started Outer Worlds 2, it was also kind of fresh on my mind. I don't want to sit there for half an hour building my character, you know?
Yeah, and I want to have the customization options, but I don't want to have a hassle whenever I'm doing it.
Right.
Where it becomes a chore. And side note, I was telling you this too, in-game versus in the studio where you're creating it, the lighting can be different. And so even colors, the names of colors being there, it seems simple, right? Like auburn or brown or black, you can tell. You can't always tell though. And I've got bad eyesight and it's only getting worse.
And see, just the fact that you're talking about the fact that the lighting in the creation engine looks different than in the game engine, I'm bored just thinking about it. I don't even care. I just want it. Plus, unless you're playing in third person, you don't see what your character looks like anyway.
Very true, which there is an option to play third person in this game. But take it away, Wayne. What do you have to complain about?
Okay, my first one, and this is a big one for me because I don't play multiplayer games really, as you know. I'm pretty much the only games I play are story-driven games.
Yep.
And so a silent protagonist is one of my biggest pet peeves. I cannot stand for the character that you're playing to be talked at by NPCs. They constantly have information coming at them, and they're just standing there like you can just picture them in your head, like your guy's just standing there nodding. This game got a lot of flack, but Veilguard, I thought that this was one thing that they did right was there are a couple of, I think there are maybe 6 different voice options.
Okay.
3 male and 3 female, and you just get to pick which one you think sounds the best. But then, you've also got the other side of it. There are, classic protagonists like Doom Guy or the Doom Slayer, who literally never spoke a word up until Doom Eternal.
Guts. Huge guts. Kill them. Must kill them all.
And he spoke in a cut scene that was a flashback, right? And the Doom community was just enraged by the fact that they had given him a voice finally, even though it was just in a flashback and it wasn't actually part of the game.
Yeah, it's something that I have come to overlook, but I think that you're right. I mean, it does kind of take you out of it. You want to hear your character respond or react. I hate to see an overly complicated upgrading system with perks or whatever.
Yes.
It's nobody was asking for that many options. I mean, you know, your basic stuff that makes you feel fulfilled is like you're running and then it's like speed increased or agility increased because you're hopping, and it naturally adapts to how you play.
Yeah.
You know, your strength, if you're a heavy hitter and you keep using melee combat, your strength's increasing. Makes sense because your playstyle, you're naturally progressing in the way that you want.
Right.
I love that. But whenever you start making it overly complicated and confusing with perks, I mean, I love like little simple perks, right? Yeah, well, the perk systems that are coming out now are just trees. They're trees, and then you have your skill tree, and I'm like, well, what?
It's not a tree. It's like a whole forest. It's like a whole row of trees.
Yes.
I mean, you've got to have different upgrades for not just like weapons, but you've got to have one-handed weapons and two-handed weapons and blunt weapons and edged weapons and archery, and like instead of just having like an attack or a block.
Well, what about this? The naming system of these perks or the attributes that you're upgrading, they're not strength or melee or whatever. You'll get what I'm talking about if you have been playing Ghost of Yotei. Multiple different categories, but then it's got these perks or different combat moves in there, which actually would bring me naturally to the next complaint. It's walking a line. I'm not there yet, but it's walking a line with overly complicated controls, where you have so many skills that you're learning, and this one was paced faster than the previous game. So Ghost of Tsushima, I'm not positive on how you correctly pronounce that game, but I love that game. But Ghost of Yotei is a little bit quicker, and with that, you know, you're hitting action and stuff quicker, but also the skills you're learning and progressing, I'm getting a little bit where I'm like, how do you do that? They also failed to mention you do a tutorial, right, that shows you a couple things like dodging and, you know, rolling and such. Well, I start out in the beginning of the game and I'm like, why am I unable to roll? They showed you how to do it and then they took it away. You have to re-unlock it.
Oh, wow.
Why?
Yeah, that's irritating.
Why? So I thought something was wrong. I thought that I just really was out of practice because I hadn't played as often as I once did. But no, which that's kind of another complaint inside another complaint. But you see what I'm saying? It becomes where I'm like, I want to do this cool combat moves, and you have to because the enemies are pretty challenging. You need these tools, but I can't keep track. And then you took some of them away and didn't tell me. I don't know, but. What do you have?
You know, you were kind of talking about overly complicated controls. Like with Elden Ring, it took me so long to get used to that because X was the button to heal. And so I'm hitting X because the game I played before that, X was attack. Because X and Y was like light and heavy attack, right? And there's a lot of those. That's common. But so I would be spamming the X button and use up all my healing flask like right out the gate in the beginning of the fight. I don't understand why they can't all be mostly the same.
No. I think that we could mostly agree on there's one generic form of controls that you're very used to. And then there's the second that's like, okay, it's one of those.
Sure.
You know, you start playing it and you can quickly adapt.
Yeah.
There are two games that come to my mind whenever you're talking about just why, like kind of controls, and that would be Silent Hill and Hitman. Do you know how many times I was being stealthy in Hitman, and then all of a sudden, like I did it in real life, and I'm like, why did I just like do that? That's the kind of controls that I just
like with Elder Scrolls. Make it the jump button on all Elder Scrolls games. Well, and Fallout is Y.
Why?
Or on Xbox,
Yes.
it's is that triangle
Yes.
on a
Top button,
PlayStation?
yes.
Yeah. Why? Literally why?
But that's the
X,
secondary.
I guess.
That's the secondary one that I can like be like, what? And then I'll adapt kind of to. But the ones where I'm hitting L1 or I guess the left bumper for Xbox to run, I'm like, that's really
Yeah,
convenient.
you're supposed to click the thumbstick. That's how you sprint, right? You click the right
Yes.
thumbstick. That's how you sprint.
Yeah, I thought we could agree on that, but I
Apparently
guess
not.
not.
So anyway, since I brought it up already, why in 2025 are we still having games where you can't jump? If it's a first or third person game and I can't jump, I instantly want to play that game less. Like my enthusiasm for that game is like fading because I can't jump. Like even in a new game that just came out like very recently, Hell Is Us, this war-torn landscape, right? Like there have been battles, and there are battlefields and stuff that you're going across, and so there are all of these impact craters, like from where bombs went off or like shells, fell and stuff, and so there are craters in the ground, and in each of these craters is a board
Naturally.
that's like a ramp, so that if you wander past one and fall into it, your character can get out. So they put a board in every single one of these impact craters just so your character doesn't get stuck, because I guess that was easier than coding a jump.
Because they move like old weenie dogs.
Yeah, I guess. Like, I mean...
Yeah, and you know what else is even better than that? Whenever they don't give you a jump, but also it's completely unrealistic. You're walking in a world and then your character's like stuck and it's like a rock.
Yes.
It's like a rock. Or is it like pick up your foot or go around it?
And as great as it was, Kingdom Come 2 was horrible about that. And I mean, you could jump, but it like...
Boy could jump.
Yeah, but you would get stuck on like random stuff, and then when you would jump backwards. I mean, as great as that game was, that part was pretty ridiculous.
You can't win them all.
I mean, I guess not.
Okay, another complaint I have for you. We're just flying. They're
Hey,
just
man.
flying.
This is like therapy.
I'm telling you, let's get it all out. Let's purge. One that comes to my mind is fast travel, and I guess kind of confusing maps too. Resident Evil 4 Remake. That was a good example of a game where it was linear, but it was, there were sections in that game. Well, you had to go all the way back manually if you needed to go pick something up or you left something or whatever it may be. But why?
Yeah.
Going off of that is I recently started playing Silent Hill 2, The Notorious Apartments.
Yes.
Here you are, I've got a map. It crosses things out. Sometimes I can't tell exactly when or why, and I don't know why it's not helping me more than it is. Maybe that's a me problem, and it could very well be. I find myself in this building far too long. So long that I am hoping to see Pyramid Head. I am unfazed, unbothered, and unfazed. And I feel like once you get to that level of being over a situation, something has failed somewhere along the lines, and ChatGPT couldn't help me out of this one. I mean, I could just keep compiling, so I will digress.
So my next one that I think you're going to appreciate is non-skippable cutscenes, especially if it's before a boss fight. Because if I go into a boss fight, and I mean, like, I like the whole, like, big dramatic cutscene that introduces a boss. Like, the Souls games are great for those, like Elden Ring, and, there are some really cool cutscenes leading into boss arenas.
Ghost of Yotei has great cutscenes that make you feel really cool before battle.
And it's great until you get beat down by that boss. And then if it starts over and I can't skip that cutscene and I have to sit there and watch it again, by like the 5th or 6th time, I mean, if it's a Souls game especially, if you have to watch that, now you can skip it in Souls games. That wasn't the point I was making, but I've played a ton of games that will put a big cutscene right before a boss fight and then make it where you can't skip it, so you've got to sit through that cutscene. And
it's painful and it's enraging.
By the 5th time, you're just like, oh!
Zelda. Zelda, because there's some hard boss fights in those games, and I had to sit there and watch his cool entrance for the 15,000th time of losing. Nobody wants to do that. And not only that, for me, it's also my ADD. The dialogue, just plain dialogue. I'm playing game, I've got a limited amount of time. At the bottom, I'll have my subtitles on, and I'm like, okay, okay, next. When you can't do that, and I still see it, and I've already read it, and then I'm listening to dude talk.
Yeah.
Like, come on!
I've already noticed in Outer Worlds 2, and just the brief time that I've played it so far, there's so many documents that they want you to read. Emails on terminals and all this stuff.
Sounds very
and I'm
Fallout.
like, at this point, like, especially in a game like Outer Worlds where there's technology that's beyond what we have, right? Even if it's a little past future type stuff, it would make perfect sense if you just had like a little computer, almost like a Pip-Boy, that you could just be like, Chat GPT, read me this email while I go over here and fight these guys.
Hi, I am Alexa. Would you like to play a song?
Just read it to me.
I don't like whenever you're not in control of the pacing of your gameplay.
For
You know,
sure.
when you could be.
Yeah.
Another thing that goes right along with that is, what about a slow NPC?
Oh my gosh.
You know, they're like telling you, speaking these wise words, and I gotta follow along, and they're going so slow.
Escort missions.
Yes.
And they're always, if they do run, they run at like half the speed that you run, but twice the speed that you walk. So there's literally no, you're like running and then stopping and waiting for them to catch up, and then running and then stopping and waiting.
Thank God some of them know, if you noticed, if I start running, they'll start running. And I'm like, that's right, come on with it. Do you have anything else that comes to mind before I bring out the rest of the scroll?
Yeah, I am a big fan of variable difficulties. A lot of games do these, but there are a ton of great games, and I know the whole Souls crowd is fixing to come down and really hate this because they enjoy fighting the same boss 100 times so that you memorize their moveset.
In their loincloth.
And you can dodge perfectly, or and then they can post a video on YouTube and be like, 0-hit speed run, carrying like a stick.
It sounds personal.
Yeah, I don't play a game to make myself more frustrated and stressed out, right? Yeah, exactly.
Perspire.
Yeah, and a lot of games that I've been seeing recently, they'll let you tweak it even more, where you can adjust, like if you want for yourself to just do more damage, but the enemies still inflict the same amount of damage, or you can make it where the enemies actually inflict less damage on you, but yours stays the same. And so you can fine tune it a little bit to fit your play style.
I want to enjoy the story, and I do want to have a challenge, but I don't want to be sweating.
I'm there for the story.
Yeah, a
you
good
know?
time.
Right. Business.
Yeah, and then think about like newer gamers and stuff. They're not as familiar. You're opening up the world of gaming to more people that maybe previously couldn't have played that game because it's too hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so another one that I've got that a ton of people I know are going to agree with is only auto saves or limited saves. I get the idea behind it, but games like Silent Hill that have the puzzles and stuff, they can be complicated, challenging. I don't remember, where the last autosave was, or if I've got to get up and go, I can't just save. And I'm like,
you don't have time to run back and find the nearest red square on the wall.
Yeah.
They see the save points as part of the strategy of the game.
Because I have been playing Silent Hill 2, it's like you're in those apartments forever. And it's like, it's very strategic and organized as to what triggers what and when. Yeah. I don't remember, because it's already hard enough to remember in the first place. But if you're starting me from an autosave, from I don't know when, I don't know what I did last.
Okay, so the last thing I've got on my list is, and this is one that has really become an issue since I've become a more mature gamer, is why all the text this small on the screen? Like, why? I've got a 60-inch TV and my living room's not that big. Like, I'm not sitting far away from this TV. But if I can't read the text in your text document that I'm supposed to be reading to get this information, like, I've literally recently had to get up off the couch and walk around the coffee table to like stand right in front of the TV and be like taking pictures of it with my phone so I can take it back to the couch and look at it again in case I need a refresher, And I will say that Outer Worlds 2 you can increase the text size on
I
the
did.
screen, and that was the first thing I did was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome.
I know. I did it too.
I mean,
I was about to say that.
I'm rocking like 18-point font on the screen now, you know, and it's great because I can read everything, and I'm not like this or like having to try to wear my glasses.
It's rough out here. I had
It
my
is,
glasses
man.
on. I had my glasses on.
They've got a free pass now. Like they can mess up a lot of stuff now. They gave me bigger text. I'm gonna be happy with them for a bit.
Shout out to Obsidian.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Well, I only have one final complaint that's fresh on my mind. And that is when I have to fight the cameras more than I have to fight whoever I'm fighting. Yeah, I actually had to fiddle a lot with Ghost of Yote to get the camera angle to follow. I mean, I was seriously like swiveling my camera more than I'm trying to swing a sword around and stuff and keep my eyes, because you've got multiple opponents coming at you and they don't take it easy on you.
Do you think it's like the auto aim system or the auto targeting system like fighting with you moving the camera?
Maybe. I've looked all in the settings. I put it on Ghost of Tsushima's camera. If you've played games, that's kind of second-hand nature. You get used to moving the camera. So for me to even notice it being a problem, at least for me, says something, because I'm very familiar with games.
A lot of times the first thing that I do is go in and turn the look sensitivity down, because I know that a lot of people that play competitive games like you do, the first thing you do is turn that sucker all the way up. But like I turn mine down. I don't want to like touch the thumbstick and my guy spin in a 360-degree
breaks your
circle.
neck.
Yeah, and I'm like,
I mean, those are probably, I think we hit a lot of pet peeves.
yeah, man, that was a lot of complaining. I feel better. I feel lighter.
Yeah, I do too. This was good. This was a good vent session. We should do, man, we could crank these out. We have
In
no
with
problem.
the good, out with the bad.
Yes.
Okay, well, if any of those resonated with you guys, let us know in the comments for sure. And as always, Gamer Gab is powered by Conway Corp high-speed internet service.
Gamer Gab.
Ready.